welcome back to Devoted. We always appreciate you tuning in. Now, I don't know who tunes in, but I know some of you because you give me a text sometimes on Tuesday or Wednesday, or a phone call or some kind of message. Sometimes I see you the following Sunday. You say, hey, and we have a question or a dialogue and a conversation about the Devoted. So whoever you are, we do appreciate you. And whenever you do tune in. Now, taping this on Monday, just about an hour before the Hoosiers play for a national championship. I don't know if you're a big football fan, don't know if you care or not, but kind of a big deal. And one of the things I equate the Hoosiers with is their systematic approach to playing football. If they are ahead 40-2 or 40-3 in the fourth quarter, near the end of the game, they're still going to score 60 points if they can. And I like the approach because you just don't quit. And one of the things that I know I've seen and kind of thought about, we did this actually yesterday in a sermon. In college football, a lot of times at the beginning of a fourth quarter, there are 4 quarters in a game, fingers are held up, meaning the end of a third quarter, the beginning of a fourth quarter, saying, okay, we got to give all of our effort in the last quarter. We can't let up. We can't let up. One thing that IU does not do is let up. One thing that we as Christians should not do is let up. So we dig in and we pour on the gas here to this passage about the tongue. It gets really it gets pretty fiery right now. Look at this. All right, here you go. Verses 5 and 6, James 3, reading from the NIV. James 3, 5 and 6. Likewise, a tongue is a small part of the body. Now, remember last week we talked about the tongue. James he puts it up to, he compares it to a bit in a horse's mouth. He compares it to the rudder of a boat. But the tongue is a small part of the body, but it makes great boasts. We'll come back to that. Consider that a great forest can be set on fire by a small spark. The tongue is also a fire, a world of evil. The word there is iniquity. Wow. We'll come back to that. A world of iniquity among the parts of the body. It corrupts the whole body, sets the whole course of one's life on fire. Golly. And is itself set on fire by hell. Let's take a look at 4 quick parts. Number 1, the boast. That word boast, that word actually is a neutral word in the Greek. So it means, it takes on the meaning of what you're boasting about. If I'm boasting about me, braggadocio and arrogant and prideful, then it's a negative term. If I'm boasting on the Lord, then it's a positive term, right? So the scripture is all about that. Proverbs, Psalms say, don't be boastful. It's a negative thing. Don't boast about your own self. But then Corinthians says, if you're going to boast on the Lord. So we can boast on the Lord. So so the tongue can be used for great things. The tongue can be used for great evil things. So understand, it's neutral. The tongue is neutral until we decide which direction, right, and how we let it loose, right? Number 1. Number 2, the tongue is also a fire, a world of evil among the body parts, or among the parts of the body, a world of iniquity. So iniquity is really one of the words that kind of comes with it. It's connected to sin, but there's sin and then there's iniquity. In old preaching revival, under the tent type of hanky waving preaching years and years and years ago, the camp meetings, there'd be talk about sin and iniquity. Sin and iniquity, 2 different things. Sin is the act or the nature. Iniquity is the punishment upon the action or the nature. And so this tongue of ours is full of punishment. So it's either going to punish people or we're going to receive punishment for what we do with it, right? So if we're going to use it negatively, so now James in verse 6, now he's looking at the negative use. So the boast can be neutral. Verse 6, James now is going to be talking about how we use it negatively. So the tongue is also a fire, negative now, a world of iniquity. So we're either going to punish people with our tongue, gossip, slander, backbiting, calling names, anger, right? All that, letting someone have it, right? Road rage, or we're going to get we're going to get the punishment for the tongue. So we reap what we sow. And so if our tongue is punishing, then we're going to be punished for our tongue. That's kind of what that means. It's a world of punishment. A couple more things. It corrupts the whole body, sets the whole course of one's life on fire. Where my tongue goes, I go. Follow your heart? Nah. Follow your tongue. Where your tongue goes, your mind will follow. Your heart, your life, it says your life. You can ruin people's lives with your tongue. We can run our own lives with our tongue. Wherever it says it corrupts the whole body and sets the whole course of one's life on fire. That's just think about that statement. That my whole life can be shaped by how I use the tongue. If that's not sobering, I don't know what's going to get your attention. Wow. But if that doesn't, maybe this last one will. And is itself set on fire by hell. So that is the word for Gehenna. So Gehenna, let me just actually read exactly how it reads here. Gehenna is the Greek word for hell, but it is the word that Jesus uses. Now listen, Jesus uses it to describe hell. This is the only reference used, the only time that Gehenna is used outside of when Jesus uses it to describe hell. So it's a place of eternal punishment. It's a place of eternal condemnation. Eternal damnation. So Jesus uses it several times. Hell, Gehenna, Gehenna. The only other time it's used is right here. James, the half-brother of Jesus, uses it to describe what? The tongue. Listen. Gehenna was originally the garbage dump in the valley of Hinnom outside Jerusalem. There's a valley. The valley of Kidron, which is down the slope of one side of Jerusalem, all the way up to Mount of Olives. On this side was the garbage dump. It was to the southeast. They dumped every kind of filth imaginable into Gehenna. They threw dead animals there, unburied criminals there. They even sacrificed children there to the god of Moloch. And they were burning fires all the time. They were like just fires lit and trying to burn the bodies and burn the garbage. It stunk. The idea of set on fire by hell means that the devil uses the tongue to do his damage, and that damage is full of garbage, full of disease, full of refuge, and full of stink. Have a good day. My gosh. I think it's important to understand how James starts. This can be a great boast. It can do great things. It can also be set on fire by hell. We have the choice. So I pray that you will be devoted to using the tongue for the right kind of boasting. Be devoted to using your tongue for the right kind of boasting and avoid it being set on fire by the very fires of hell. Amen. Be blessed. Be devoted.